Hello everyone. There are a few things that you need for today's session. I hope you've got them. If you've not got them, please get it now. And we'll start in another 2 minutes. So try to get the things as soon as possible.
Anushka, we can maybe start now.
Okay, ma'am. I'll present my screen. So hello everyone. Welcome back to our session today. Um, it's our fifth session and it's about painting our emotions. Before we start the session, of course, we always do a quick check in. So, because we are painting with our emotions, I would like to know which hue or color represents your mood today. And if you would like to tell me why did you choose that color. So, go ahead and unmute yourselves and or write it in the chat box colors that represent your mood today and why. So for me, I think purple represents my mood today. I am excited and I feel like quite a lot of energy. So purple is the color for my mood today. So anybody who wants to go and go next and tell me, tell us about your color. Green, just had a bath and feeling fresh. That's great, Ashwarya. Anyone else? You can use emoticons to represent your emotions, just like Ashwarya has. Green. It's white for me because it's blank for me. Don't know about today's topic. Okay, Afreen. We will be explaining you what today's topic is. Don't worry. Ophelia, yeah. Go ahead. Please unmute and tell us.
So I choose purple too, and I feel really calm and centered today.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. Aarti is um Aarti has told us yellow. Excited about today's session. That's great. That's great. Okay.
Hi. Can I ask a quick
Hi,
question,
Nikita.
please?
Yeah,
Uh,
Nikita. Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know if my camera is working, but if it's anyway,
It is.
I know. Okay, thank you. I know people talk about colors a lot when they talk about emotions, but I don't really know what color represents what emotion, if there is like a standard guide to it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because
Okay.
if you ask me to describe what color you feel, I don't know. I can't feel a color. I know what
That's
emotion I'm
fine.
feeling, but I can't feel a
That's
color.
that's fine. So we've also have a standard colors of what they're associated with generally. Maybe you
Hmm.
can have an idea through that, and maybe that
Okay.
helps you. Okay. So we also have
Is there
that.
something you can share either in the chat or on your screen, and I can probably
Yeah,
just note them?
I will be doing it in my induction before we start the activity, so that
Okay.
if you're not able to understand what emotions could be associated to what colors, then you'll
Mhm.
have an idea. So that'll be part of
Okay.
the induction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Kosha, go ahead.
Ma'am, so what medium is best suited for this exercise, watercolor or acrylics?
Anything works. Where you can
Okay,
mix colors also, because there are so many emotions that we're going to paint. So it's
okay,
better you have some colors and then you can mix it up, and we'll try different methods. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So we got a lot of answers. Anybody else who wants to tell me what color are they feeling today? If they can put it into colors, uh, give it a try in the chat box. Nandini, don't worry about the assignments right now. There'll be everything emailed to you. We have a lot of people to email to, so it becomes a little cumbersome. So don't worry, but we will be mailing you and we will be giving you enough time to finish those assignments. Uh, Lola has written blue color. Okay. Any specific reasons for blue color? Hi, Meena. Colors that you can associate a mood to right now, or your feeling or your emotions. Any more responses? We can otherwise go ahead. Okay. We don't have response. It's fine. So, do you recall how it felt to paint anything when you were a kid? I'm feeling cool. Okay. Yeah, Meena. I was saying, I was asking a question, a quick check-in question about if you could represent your feeling of today or your emotions today in form of a color. So a lot of people have answered us about the colors that they are feeling and why they are feeling so. Yeah, basically, do you recall anything about how it felt to paint when you were a kid? Like I do. Like it was dirty, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, always painted few mountains and sun. Yeah, same Aishwarya. I think we all have painted those landscapes. Yeah, Ophelia, go ahead. Go ahead. Do you want to say something? No? Okay.
So I think it was pretty messy, but
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun and it was freeing in a certain sense.
right, right. Exactly. Akshita, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. I
Hmm.
think painting, it was my hobby since childhood. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of gave me the freedom where I can express my emotions. And
Right.
also, it's like a hobby that I still continue because it refreshes my mind and I can even distract myself when I get negative thoughts or when I feel really stressed out. So
Right.
I tend to turn towards painting, which really relaxes me and also it refreshes my mind.
I agree with you. That has happened with me as well.
Yes,
Kosha,
ma'am.
do you want to go? Kosha?
Ma'am, so even if the client is not feeling good, say depressed or maybe anxious, so we have to encourage them and probe them that you need to continue with whatever color you wish to choose, right?
Yeah. So basically, what we are doing here today is we are making
Mm.
our own emotional wheel today. Okay.
Okay.
So it's basically Plutchik's model of wheel of emotions, and we will be creating our own emotional wheel. So if you're doing it with a
Okay.
client, you basically assist them to make their own wheel the same way that we'll be doing it today. And
Okay.
once we are done with that, then from the wheel we will be painting. So to express what we are feeling. Okay.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
So that's basically the gist of what we're doing today. But yes,
All
you
right.
can write your assignments in a Word document, Nandini. Does that answer you, Kosha?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So basically, we remember that, it was such a messy thing to, paint, and it was fun and it was creative with all those colors. And, but, you begin to anticipate anything from your painting. At least you begin to anticipate something from your painting, such as the ability to realistically depict an object and gain your teacher's approval. I think that was also something that used to go in my mind as well, ki, what if the shape of the human is not how it actually looks like, but the ultimate result is more significant than the act of painting, I think. Because you can be immobilized today simply thinking about brushing your teeth. It's difficult to paint something and you don't want to look foolish. But the fact is that painting is quite simple. Um, isn't it true for children who do it? They just do it and they don't wonder about future or make plans. Instead, they just enjoy themselves. So they don't think about कि ये shape होना चाहिए, or this is how a house should look, or this is how it should look. They just paint and let those emotions out there, because I think they don't ponder about it, right? So that's what I wanted to say for today's session. What you can do in the session is, um, you can analyze and plan our emotions. We can analyze and plan our emotions, to be precise. It is not only soothing but also good to accept and allow ourselves to experience what you're feeling, and those feelings are without judgments. And the best part is that you can't go wrong with it, because you're not like making structures, you're just painting here. And I think nobody except you can tell you what such a picture should look like. What your emotion should look like is something that is very subjective, and I think it's not shared experience but very, very personal. So if you want to discover it today, let's get to how to do it and things that we'll be needing. So I have written in the chat box of the things that we need. We need a set of paints. You may use whatever you want. Acrylics are the finest ones, but even if you have the Rangila colors, that also works. Okay, and like a normal set of colors will be fine. A couple of brushes to paint. It's great if you have one large one, a broad brush, and a smaller one, so that you can do like finer things with the smaller one. And the broad brush is good because the big ones are expressive and they're very ideal for this activity. Big brushes, because then you can make a lot of strokes. Okay, two pieces of paper. One we'll make a emotional wheel on, and the other one is on the one which we'll paint on. And a glass of water to wash your brushes, and paper towel. Okay. A pencil is also required, a drawing compass, and a ruler. For now, what we need is a ruler, pencil, and compass. If you don't have a compass, it's fine. You can get 3 bowls of different size. It should be like a decreasing order. The biggest, then medium size, the smaller one. So we'll give you, if you don't have it, we'll start at 720 exact. You can just go ahead and grab it. So a page, a pencil, a compass, a ruler. Not if you don't have a compass, get 3 bowls. So once you have it, please have it by 720. And if you have it, then write done, and we'll start thing, the activity. So until yeah, Snehal, you need a ruler, You need a pencil, you need a compass, and a piece of paper, sheet of paper. Are we back, guys?
Can we have few yeses in the chat so that we know everyone is back?
I hope you guys are ready. Before we start, of course, we have understanding of colors of emotion, like what colors are generally associated to what emotions. So we'll brief you about that first.
Okay, just a second, Anushka. If you have any, oil-based oil pastels or any crayons also, that will also work if you don't have paints readily available. Because all we are doing focusing on is the colors, so you can
Yeah,
use that as well, Ashwarya. You can go ahead,
that's fine
Anushka.
if you don't have like paints. That's fine, no issues. So basically, there are few colors which have been associated uh, to various emotions, and so black is a mysterious color, and it also represents first emotions. This is a standard. It's not necessary that this is what it is supposed to look like, and this is what it actually means. But then this is how it has been portrayed in a lot of books, in a lot of movies. So anguish, despair, sorrows, um, these sentiments can't grow darker, just as black can't get any blacker. As these terrible sentiments might prevent you from experiencing anything else, black covers everything. So, black can also be utilized to conceal your true feelings, emotions you're embarrassed of, or you don't want to admit. It's a hue of hegemony and seclusion. So, when you're feeling secluded or hegemony, it can be associated with black. Okay. Then we have gray. So it's a hue representing dullness and neutrality, as well as indifference and numbness. Okay. Because it is neither dark nor bright, gray is a more neutral color than white, and it can represent indecision, the dread of taking a stand, of being too strong, or even being seen at all. So it can represent depression with all colors, emotions reduced to identical shades of gray, a condition that isn't gloomy as black grief, but a perpetual exhausting of not feeling anything at all. Gray, on the other hand, can connote solidity, logic, especially when paired with brilliant hues. Okay, so that's black and gray. If you want to take screenshots for your reference, you can go ahead and do that. And we'll move ahead with other colors. Then we have red. Now, red is a very um, like dark hue. It's a hue of vigor, determination, ambition, as well as desire and love. It represents strong emotions that come suddenly and overpower you with their strength, and driving you towards a purpose that takes precedence over everything else. So, whether it's love or fury, red is about feeling with all your heart, and it also represents sexual desire as well as danger. So that there's that as well. Anger too, yes, Mariam. Anger too. Strong emotions that are very sudden. So anger is a very sudden emotion. It's a reactive emotion if we talk about. So yeah, red. Then we have orange. It's like a calmer, more reasonable version of red. It represents happiness and optimism. It may also represent motivation without the glare of the red. It's all about teamwork, social activities, power of collaboration, and extrovert energy. Orange may also represent impulse and rash behavior. So, yes. Then we have brown. So, it's nothing more than a desaturated orange, yet people prefer to perceive it as one of the primary hues since It is the color of ever present dirt and soil. Brown, like the earth, represents stability, permanence, dependability, and conservatism. So very conserve orthodox ideas, as well as filth and foulness. Okay, so that is brown. Go ahead and take the screenshot, and then we can move to other colors. Then white. It's possible to think of it as a default color. Spiritual purity, brightness, perfection, innocence are all symbol of this stone. uh, Before you put anything on it, a white piece of paper is excellent. It's good and complete on its own. As a result, wearing white is all about feeling confident and serene without having to be, without trying to be someone else. Okay. By adding white to any hue, it may be neutralized, making sensations calmer and less intense. Enlightenment and spiritual awakening are symbolized by the color of white, and a sign of complete satisfaction and harmony with all the other hues. So white symbolizes all of that. If you want to take a screenshot, go ahead and do that. Now we have yellow. It's a hue of pleasure, zeal, happiness, and general good cheer. Yellow is most vibrant of colors, and as such, it represents the optimism that pervades everything it comes to contact with. Yellow, on the other hand, can represent intransgressence and cowardice. So that's something that it may represent. Then we have green. It's a hue of optimism, youth, enthusiasm, as well as balance. Favorite color is yellow. That's great, Mariam. Balance, tranquility, um, security. Green is a natural development color, doing things correctly, achieving harmony and serenity. It's a sign of life and more broadly of being alive. It also has negative meanings such as enmity, hatred, and malice. Okay, so you can keep that in mind. Then we have blue. Now, blue is a hue of logic, devotion, constancy. It's a sign of peace, faith, and trust. It's linked to conservatism, just like I think we also saw another color, brown, which is similar. So there's responsibility, there's as introversion with blue. It symbolizes the mind rather than the emotion, and it follows reasoning rather than instinct, but is also linked to unhappiness, blues, and melancholy. So you can go ahead and take a screenshot, and then we have only two more colors.
There is a question in chat box.
Right.
So what does intransigence in yellow color means? So intransigence basically means like emotion where there is kind of refusal or to change one's view or to agree upon something. So it's like when we talk in terms of its synonyms, it would be more like not being able to agree on,
Compromise.
yeah,
Yeah.
compromise or
Refusing to compromise, basically.
yeah, often like abandon to certain extreme positions or something like that.
Like
Grishma, I
even,
hope.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead,
great.
Anushka, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so basically that's accurately put by Anne. It's refusal to compromise or to agree. There's a lot of inflexibility. There's no, like, you don't come to agreements. So they're very inflexible. Okay, so then we have the next slide, purple and pink. So purple, it's a hue associated with enchantment, mystery, and the unusual. It may represent pride, immaturity, and narcissism, as well as creativity. Independence, going against the grain, spirituality, um, and imagination. So Ashwarya has written something that struck now is that mostly the light or warm colors are more happy or positive, and the cold dark ones are quite negative. Yeah, that's how it has been perceived, but it might not be something
Yeah,
which works for
we
you,
should
I
go
think.
with, okay, yeah, this is something which is like has been given and standardized by some someone, but that doesn't mean that your representation for a particular color has to go in this particular way itself.
Way exactly.
Yeah, because like
So
there is a lot of colors that some people might even love brown. For them, brown might be a very positive color. Some people just
yeah,
love dark shades. Black is like a go-to color for a lot of people. So
right,
it doesn't mean that the explanation that this hue, particular hue, has been associated to something. So that doesn't mean that we have to perceive in that way. It's just a way to, how it has been
understand.
perceived. Yeah, understood generally in terms in the world, and it
Mhm.
might differ culturally as well.
Exactly. So somewhere black might be very significant, but some cultures also it's not something that has been associated positively.
Yeah,
So it also depends on subjective experience, I think, as Anne put it rightly. For me, blue um, represents calmness, and there are blue melancholy that's totally opposite to what I feel. So it's fine if you have a different perspective towards your emotions regarding the color. So at last we have pink. It's a hue of rashness, lightheartedness, and immaturity, as well as friendliness, care, tenderness, romantic love, and femininity. It represents delicate, silent sentiments as well as a sense of disconnection from reality. So that is basically what the colors are associated with. If you want to like go back to any of the slides or have any questions regarding the colors, you can ask.
yeah,
Otherwise,
and
we'll
move ahead. Otherwise, like also these colors and these details will be shared with you in like as
right,
in the
right.
script. So you don't have to worry if you haven't taken a screenshot or if you have missed something. But if you have any questions, you can definitely go ahead.
Anytime, Mariam. And nobody has questions, I think. So we can go ahead. And would you like to like take over and
Yeah, sure, definitely. Okay. So before we move ahead, it's basically like just as Anushka before starting mentioned that it's more like two activities, because first we'll be trying to make the wheel of colors, where we'll be formulating the wheel of colors, like the wheel of emotions, where we'll be trying to actually first understand and make our own palette of colors. Okay, associating different colors to different emotions, and then we'll go to the painting activity. So if even if, like, for example, today we are not able to complete the entire activity, we'll try to resume from where we left today in tomorrow's class. Okay, so first of all, I hope everyone is ready with the equipments required, the materials required. If yes, can we have some thumbs up or some yeses in the chat so that it becomes easy to understand? Yes. I hope most of you are ready with the material. And if you can like turn on your cameras, that would also, help like when we are interacting and we know.
yeah. And something that I wanted to mention when I was talking about bringing yourself materials, make sure your workspace is stain resistance before you begin working, and put some extra sheets of paper under your canvas or whatever you're doing so that you can paint freely. You won't have to slow down towards the corners or something like that. Okay, because when we're doing it, you just have to like free flow things rather than worrying about I'm spilling it over or something. So like children are unconcerned about these things, and you may find it difficult to completely enjoy the activity if you're worried about making a mess. So try to have a space that you're not worried to mess up. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll move ahead. Okay. Anushka, you can go to the next slide. Yeah. So first we'll try to, draw a small circle. I hope everyone is not sure what size sheet you're using. So accordingly you can form a circle in the center. So like I'm using an A4 size sheet, so I'm taking a radius of like 4 centimeters, so that it's not that too small a circle and not too big. So like a bangle size. Okay, are we done with the first circle? Yeah. So we'll go ahead. We'll try to make a little more bigger circle than the first one. That somewhat looks like what is appearing in the screen. So if you're done, we'll move to the next step. Okay.
I'll move it to the next slide, guys.
Yes. Okay. Now we'll try to make another bigger circle around the second circle. So that there are 3 consecutive circles. So we have done with the 3 consecutive circles. Now we'll need so we'll try to make lines, okay, in the smallest circle, which is the innermost circle. Okay, we'll try to make one horizontal line and one vertical line, just you can see in the center.
Divided into 4 halves,
Yeah,
basically.
which is dividing the circle into 4 quarters.
Yeah.
If you're done, we'll move ahead. Okay, now we're gonna draw a perpendicular line to the other. So just like first we try to divide them. So the way we had divided the 4 quarters, we are gonna do again divide those 4 into 4 more by drawing perpendicular lines. which kind of divides the innermost circle into 8 smaller quadrants.
Yeah, so basically each quarter will look like two triangles.
Yeah.
So like from in between
So
you can
just
draw
so we had
perpendicular.
made a horizontal line and a horizontal line and a vertical line. Now we'll make two diagonal lines so that it's divided into like 8 quarters. Okay, so the fourth step was once you have made all the three two lines across each other. Yeah, two lines across each other. Correct. Absolutely correct. I hope it's clear. So in the innermost circle, you have to first make a vertical line, then cut it by a horizontal line. And the fifth step is you have to make two diagonal lines so that it divides the innermost circle into 8 equal triangles. Yeah, exactly. Just like how Snehal is showing us. Thank you, Snehal.
Ma'am, mine, like I am having 9 parts, 9 triangles. So there is an error in that case.
It's okay. It's not an issue, Kosha. It's fine.
Okay.
We'll go ahead with the next one. So we have done the sixth as well. Shall we move to the seventh? Okay. Now each triangle that is formed, you need to cut that by half. So these are the final lines. So you can cut it, you can press harder, and if the last ones were light in shade, these could be darker, the lines. So right now, if you see this picture, there's only one dark line. So that's how you cut the triangles that were created. And once you have cut all the triangles crisscross, then across, then it shall look like this. Darker ones are more visible, lighter ones are not, but then they are still there. So
Ma'am, could you explain this step again, please?
okay, so Kaushav, till where did you reach? How many have you made? How many triangles have you made? 9, right? And you are on mute.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there were 9 parts which were divided.
Okay. And they were triangles, right?
Yes.
So across each triangle, you cut it.
Hmm.
So each triangle gets divided into a half again. Okay. Now while you and you are on mute.
Between the 9 triangles, you have to cut them into halves. So
You're again on mute.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's that happening. Okay. So basically, when you are cutting those 9 triangles, so there should be 18 triangles, but only 9 very visible. So the earlier lines which we formulated were lighter. Now you have to cut the existing triangles into halves with a darker shade.
Okay. So now I will have 18 of them, 18
Yeah.
triangles.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then they will look like these. The 9 triangles of yours would come in dark shades and the others would be in light. 9 would be in light.
You're on mute, Anne.
I'm so sorry. Okay, can you just go to the last slide again? Yeah. I hope the camera is visible.
You'll have to remove the effect first.
Yeah. Is it? It's not a great circle though. Uh, so like 9, it was cut. You can see the lighter shades. Now within those lighter shades, I've tried to make darker shades also visible. So that's how you have to do it.
Guys, are we done? We'll move ahead.
Okay.
Done.
Okay.
No more.
So can we have few more responses so that we can know?
Okay. We'll move ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. So now once we have formulated the circle and we have done, now we have to formulate these parallel lines on the two sides. So now that will happen on the triangles which are on the right and left side. The formulated triangle on the right and left side in the center. So these two triangles you have to form two parallel lines and connect them with the
Yeah.
triangle.
So all the dark triangles that you can see, basically connect those to all the triangles. So the V that is forming, the ends of the V, you'll have to connect it to the last circle. Okay. So
So
all the dark
basically,
circles.
yeah, it will look something like this. I hope it's visible.
Yeah, it is visible. Not the light lines, the darker ones that
Yeah,
are
the
very
darker
visible.
ones.
All of them, right? Not just this two.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll just try to first connect with these two. Once we are done, then we'll move to the next step. Yeah, just like that.
It will look like this, but then before we move on to that,
Yeah. So
start.
if I hope everybody saw what Natasha ma'am was trying to show so that that becomes more clearer. Can you just once again show that so that it becomes clear to everybody? Yeah, just like that. Thank you.
Are we done, guys? We'll move ahead. Okay, great. We'll move ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so now once we are done, what we'll try is so we'll now follow the Pichin's model and we'll take the centermost and we'll fill them with the intense emotions that the model talks about. Okay, so in the center triangles. Okay, so Anusha, can we go? Yeah. So these are the intense emotions according to his model. Okay. Rage, loathing, grief, amazement, terror, admiration. I hope it's visible. You can write the emotions whichever way you want in whichever triangle, but they have to come in the innermost triangle.
So, ma'am, these are overwhelming emotions, right?
Yeah, yeah. These are the most, the primary emotions, we might say. Intense emotions, most intensified emotions.
We're able to zoom it, but it's not clear. Could you type it in the message, all the emotions one after the other?
Okay, okay. Just a second. I'll just
Yeah,
type it in.
thanks.
The emotions are mentioned on the right side of the, I mean, in the screen. Is it visible? Okay.
Yeah, the ninth step, Aishwarya, is to write the these intense emotions in the triangles. So
In the
here, if you see,
innermost
yeah.
triangles.
So here, if you see, it's ecstasy, and here the second on the right hand side, it's admiration. If you're not able to see, then we have terror. Okay. Then we have amazement. Okay. Then we have grief. Okay. Then we have loathing. Then we have rage, and then we have vigilance,
So
and then
we'll
we
be
have
writing.
dramatic.
So as we are formulating the whole Plutchik's wheel of emotions, we'll try to write all the emotions, okay, which are mentioned here, all the emotions that are mentioned here in the screen on the right side. We'll try to put all of them.
So I know there are eight circles that we have, eight triangles that we have. So you can leave one of them. That's fine.
Ma'am,
It's
so
eight, right? Yeah.
ma'am, so
Yeah.
there is a rule that we have to go in order, or we can keep it.
You can write, so you have to just mention all in the inner circle. You can write in any way that you want to
Okay,
write. Okay, there
okay,
is
ma'am.
no rule in as such, but do
Yeah.
mention all these emotions, because this would be a whole color palette. From this color palette we'll be making our, final painting.
Okay, so ma'am, we have to color inside this, or no? We should leave.
We'll be making, so once we are done with writing all the emotions in these, what we'll be doing is giving each emotion a color, and that color you have to make. Okay,
Okay,
you can formulate a color, or that way we'll be giving each emotion a color, and
okay,
from this color palette we'll be making a painting, which we'll be doing as the next step.
We'll move ahead with the next slide now.
Yeah, if everybody has written the emotions, I hope. If you want, you can take a screenshot of the emotion so that you can complete it before you come for the next class, like tomorrow, so that we can start with the painting. Yeah, I'll just put this in the chat box as well, because then.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the next. So I think before we start, you can talk about primary, secondary emotions, and then
Yeah.
how they combine, and then I'll show the.
Okay. So, according to Pritchard's wheel of emotion, there are primary emotions which we actually saw. Okay, the eight ones, and then each based on each there are opposites. Okay, so the polar opposites. For example, if joy is the primary emotion, then the polar opposite of it would be sadness. So just like for example, if we say connect and versus withdraw, it would be like that. So we'll have polar opposites, and then there are combinations where we see that where the emotions with no color represent an emotion. That is, we try to mix two primary emotions and we formulate a combination color. That is that makes and formulates a our emotion. So for example,
Tertiary
if
emotion.
and
Right.
yeah our combination emotion. So for example, tertiary emotion. For example, if anticipation and joy is combined, will formulate optimism. Just that way, if joy and trust is combined, it will formulate love. So emotions jo which are actually sometimes are complex to understand, or are to recognize when they are feeling, they're mostly are a combination of two or more distinct feelings. That's what Plutchik's wheel of emotions, or his this wheel of emotions, tried to tell us that whenever we are feeling a complex emotion, that is basically because we are feeling like two or three distinct emotions all together. That's why it's becoming complex for us to understand what emotion exactly are we feeling at that moment. And I hope that happens a lot of times. So as we are almost towards the end of today's session, because there would be a lot of people who have registered for the guided imagery session which is happening, which is organized by our very own Ria ma'am. So I will be stopping here today, but I would request everyone to take a screenshot of this so that it becomes easier for you when you come tomorrow, and we can straight away start from understanding the colors and associating colors to our emotions. Okay, so we'll just show you. Just go back one slide back where the secondary emotions is shown. Yeah, so this is the secondary emotions. So how we'll go is, once you have mentioned rage in one place, you'll go in the second space of it and you'll mention anger. Okay, anger and annoyance. Anushka, can you just show the slide where it is being drawn? Is it visible? No, I mean the previous page. I think it is the previous page. Step 10 on page is there.
Basically, step 10 is this picture.
Yeah. So
So
if you see
it's
rage
visible.
part, yeah, yeah. If you see rage part, I hope it's visible to everybody. Uh, just a second. Can you take your cursor there? Yeah, that is the rage part in the screen, right? And there in, okay, yeah, there where she's,
You're on mute, and
so sorry, rage, and then the second line would come to be known as anger, and then we'll go in the third part, which will be annoyance. Okay, so this way you'll mention the all the emotions which are in the secondary part. Can we do that and come as in homework for today? Yes.
just
Yes.
just mention the secondary emotions, and we'll start with the tertiary one tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, we'll start with the tertiary ones tomorrow. So we'll just mention these in these lines. So if you have mentioned rage here, you'll go for these portions for anger and annoyance. Then for loathing, then you'll go for disgust, and in the third circle, you'll mention boredom. Okay, try to mention in the sides associating to the
The
lines,
parallel
the
lines, yeah.
names, the parallel lines, to mention the names in the lines, so that while you're putting the color, or associating the color, where which emotion is it. Just like here, it's written in like the lines, so that it becomes easier for you to one later part when we are associating colors. Okay, so we'll try to end our session here for today, and tomorrow we'll continue from here, and we'll take the doubts and also tomorrow itself. Okay. Okay, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you for today. We'll meet all of you tomorrow.
Thank you for the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.